What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Popecast live, of course, on the YouTube. You know how that goes, guys. Thank you guys again so much for joining. And if you're catching this on the replay, thank you so much for watching. And in general, if you're watching right now in the live stream, well, thank you as well. Make sure you're going to hit that like button if you hear it. It does help the algorithm. It helps us very, very much. So please hit that like button. I'll be reminding you throughout the whole entire podcast and making sure that all the audio is working here. It is working. Perfect. We have that all working. And today is a very special day. I have a great guy joining me, which we will get to in 1 second. I also do want to mention as well, if you guys are new here, to hit that like, well, I already hit like button. Hit that subscribe button as well. It does really help us out as well. We've been seeing like a lot of plethora coming in. Lots of people are joining in right now. So this is going to be a great kind of day. Again, we will be getting to the live chat soon, so start throwing in your questions. Super chats are very much appreciated. If you do throw in a super chat, I will definitely answer that question right away the second I see it, and it will be guaranteed to be answered. I can't guarantee that every question will be answered, but in a sense that'll how it be. Today, my guest is, last week I had 3C Films, but today I have Jaron Talks Movies, which let me introduce you right now. Jaron, how you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. I mean, it's this time to where everything's kind of up in the air. It's a lot different than normal, but I'm adjusting. I'm happy to be on the show. Glad to finally meet Deadpool in the flesh.
Yeah, man. You know who it is. So Jaron is the Patreon supporter of mine, he reminds me a lot of when I started YouTube about 4 to 5 years ago. I don't really know the time frame because I guess technically it would be 4 years ago since that's when I graduated high school, and I hated those videos. So technically, I guess I deleted them all. They're unlisted on private, only for me to watch. But I wanted to bring you in, of course, because I've been saying that I want to collab with you. I know you wanted to collab as well. This is the perfect time. I like live streams. It's more fun this way. And I hope a lot of you guys in the chat are enjoying as well. So the best thing about this is you guys are going to learn a little bit more about Jaron. Make sure to go subscribe to him as well. His channel info is down below in the bio. It really would help me out, help him out. Go comment on one of his latest videos after this live stream. Let him know that I sent you over there. Now, just letting you guys know, again, we're going to get through some of the movie news. You're going to get to know Jaron a little bit more. And the thing about this as well is Jaron is someone who's also up and coming in kind of the YouTube space. How many subscribers are you currently at? Are you at 500 yet or close to it?
I think I actually just hit 400. I think I have like 413 at the moment.
Okay, sweet. That's amazing. That's amazing. And when did you start? When did you start YouTube?
So actually, I think it was last year when Us came out. I was just like, hey, I want to post a review for it. It was really bad. Like looking back at it, it was terrible. But then again, like you said, a lot of our stuff is not very good in the beginning. But yeah.
And I mean, and that's the thing. Each video, you tinker a bit more. You know what I mean? Like you tinker a little bit more, like until you feel comfortable with it. Like a lot of my reviews are just straight up me just spewing how I feel. I try to start with the pros, but if I get to the cons first, I'm going to discuss the cons. And it's more of a, I feel like it's like how your personality fits it, you know? You can try and copy other people and like see how that works. And sometimes it'll work, but a lot of it comes down to your style, how you feel. And again, tinkering, like one of the things I've been tinkering with during this whole thing is obviously I'm using a different set for a majority of my videos right now. One, because I'm just lazy and do not want to set up my other set. And when I do set up that other set, it's more for like movie reviews, TV reviews, stuff like that. So one thing I've had is that I'm very ghetto. I used like a TV dinner, like board for a while and had my microphone attached to it that I would actually move around and whatever video I had to do. If it was an unboxing, I'd attach it to the tripod. It's very, very bad.
Hey, whatever works, man.
Whatever works, absolutely. I had my iPad on there for all the notes. So what I did now was I actually attached the mic to the side of me where you can, when the videos start coming out, you'll be able to see that it's on the side, but the mic is actually centered below me now and my voice is actually hitting it better. So it sounds better. And again, it's just that tinkering that works. And I remember when I first started, again, I filmed on the webcam, no editing, no nothing, just straight up talking. I focused more on the thumbnails, in fact, which were just the dumbest thing possible, but it's a fun thing in that part. And to kind of get the audience to know you a little bit more, I love to ask, so how did you start? What made you want to start YouTube? What kind of got this? Inspire some of the people in the live chat who are maybe wanting to do the same thing.
I mean, I've always had that love of movies. Like, it was always for me, like, music and then movies. Now movies has kind of taken that top spot. But, like, from the time I was, like, really young, I was brought up on Toy Story a lot like you. That was my favorite movie. I had a lot of influences from my dad, my brothers. I have 7 brothers.
Oh,
and
shoot.
yeah, and they all
Are
love
you the
movies.
middle, oldest, youngest?
I'm actually the youngest.
Oh, okay.
So I had a lot of influences growing up, and then, like, getting older, watching YouTube, I saw people like you, Sean Chandler, Griff, and I wanted to take the jump, and so that's why I got into
Mhm.
making YouTube videos.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of how it was for me as well. I grew up with movies. Like one of my first movies I ever saw in theaters was Toy Story 2. And truly, what's funny is that I had always loved movies. My grandma used to take me to movies like every single week,
Yeah,
sometimes twice a week. And I loved how much movies had like meant to me. They were my escape. And
right.
there came a point where I had a friend's dad who was like, why don't you do this on YouTube? And I was like, you're right. And at the time I was watching the Schmoes, I was watching Chris Stuckman, Jeremy
Oh,
John
yeah.
for Flickpick. I was watching all these guys and I'm like, I can do that. So my senior year of high school came and I got a laptop finally with a webcam. Said,
Mhm.
fuck it, I'll start making some.
Yeah,
Made some good stuff all inside that thing and had fun doing it, but I was very self-conscious. I think the first year I didn't even market, I didn't post anything on social media about my videos because I didn't know how people would make me like feel about it.
right.
Because I remember in high school when I talk about movies, some people would bully a little bit about it. And I had friends who would be like, "Oh, dude, come on! Like, why you always gotta talk about movies?" But
Yeah,
it's funny now. Like a lot of my close friends who used to give me shit for that because that's literally all I would talk about.
yeah.
That's all we talk about now. I take them to these early screenings, and it's like I didn't know this was where it could go. One of my closest friends was like, I never thought like this is where it would go, and I'm like, same here. I'm like, my closest friend who we've seen every single MCU film together. It still baffles him how like we get to go and do all these things together. And I have another close friend who like I take to like pretty much any of the other screenings,
Mhm.
and he's like my test subject. I take him to like Serenity type stuff, and I'm
Oh,
like,
geez,
what do you
Serenity.
think? And well, that's the funny movie. I've told this multiple times on this channel that I took my friend to Serenity. And I
Mhm.
told him, like, dude, I don't know if so I bought him dinner right before. I'm like, this movie could suck. I don't know what I'm gonna think about it. It could be completely boring, but we can make fun of it right afterwards. Dude, we are laughing so hard throughout that whole entire movie.
It's the best, man.
It's
Great.
straight up the best, and we are having so much fun with that. And it's just that's how it's crazy how movies kind of project. Do you remember the first movie you ever saw in theaters?
The first movie I ever saw in theaters, I think, was the original Cars movie.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
see, I remember seeing that too. So for me, we both kind of started in the same way. Now, is there one particular movie, TV show that really was like, man, this makes me love film, like I want to study film? What was that for you? I know what mine is. I'm curious if you remember the particular one that really, like, that centered in on for you.
So the first movie that actually made me, like, really appreciate every aspect of film was definitely Nightcrawler with Jake
Ooh, yeah,
Gyllenhaal.
that's a great one, man. That's a great one.
I was really young, and
Did
honestly,
you get to
I
see it in theaters?
no, I didn't.
No?
I had to
Okay.
wait until it came out on Blu-ray, but I didn't even understand a lot of it at the time, but I was
Hmm.
like, "I don't know what it is about this movie," but, like, I could not take my eyes off of it. It was amazing, and it's
Yeah.
still, like, one of my favorite movies today.
Yeah, it's in my top 25 of all time. I
Yeah.
love that movie. It's funny, the first time I actually got to see that, I'd wanted to see it for so long, but Arizona at the time didn't have a lot of independent stuff coming out here.
Oh,
So when it finally came out here, me and my friend went to the only theater, and we were starving, so I actually snuck in Panda Express. Like we brought these big jackets, snuck it in under, walked in, and it was the best experience I think I've had. Like one of the best experiences watching the movie. And I took my friend who like wasn't the biggest fan of like films like that, but he loves Jake Gyllenhaal,
yeah.
and he loved the movie, like loved it. Like to this date when we talk, he's like, dude, that's like one of the best movies you've ever introduced me to. And it's really cool in that fact. See, for me though, it was actually a show that made me like I had always loved movies, but there was one show in particular that made me like want to start studying. And it was my sophomore junior year. I had a teacher who we were starting to read about the Great Gatsby and
Uh-huh.
all the stuff with colors and the background stuff. And it always intrigued me on that part. And a show I started watching at that same time was Breaking Bad,
Oh,
who has
yeah.
a lot of similarities with colors, character development, all this stuff. And that is what truly actually made me start falling in love with filmmaking was the show Breaking Bad. This made me want to go start going back. And like, again, film had always been a big part of my life. My dad grew me up on a bunch of films. My grandmother did as well. And so did
Yeah.
my mother. And, you know, but that was the show that made me fall and like be like, I want to study every single aspect of filmmaking
Yeah.
possible. And ever since then, that was kind of my like big thing. And I think that's why I'm such a big fan of Breaking Bad. I watch it once a year. Every year, I'm so happy I have the El Camino now to watch. And if you aren't watching Better Call Saul yet, I don't know what the hell is wrong. Have you watched Breaking Bad? Have you watched?
I haven't started watching Better Call Saul, but I actually just finished Breaking Bad this
Okay.
year, so
And
I'm
did you love it?
completely new to it. I loved it so much.
Okay. Did you watch El Camino?
I did watch El Camino.
Okay. So I cannot implore, start watching Better Call Saul today, man.
Yeah, I will.
A lot of people will say they marketed it as like, oh, it's a spin-off to Breaking Bad. It's not a
Mhm.
spin-off. It's a freaking prequel to Breaking Bad. And just like Breaking Bad, how it took the first 2 seasons to kind of figure out what the show is,
Yeah.
that's what Better Call Saul is. Because a lot of it is, okay, it's about Saul and Mike. No, it starts adding a lot of other characters from Breaking Bad lore, and you're like, okay, I'm all in for this. And I want to throw in as well, guys. I see there are 19 of you guys in here watching now. Thank you so much. Start throwing in your questions in the live chat, whether for me, whether for Jaren. We're going to be taking those throughout the show, and always towards the very end, we're going to be taking a lot of your guys' viewer questions. So I do want to throw that out as well. Also wanted to ask you, Jaren, what do you do in life? Like, what's your job? I just kind of like I like to ask people if you don't mind me asking that.
So I actually work at a pizza place. I
Okay.
make the pizza. I like work up front, do all that stuff. I'm a server. I do some video editing for my church actually. So when I'm not
Oh,
here, I do
nice.
that. Yeah. I like to play basketball.
Did you
Listen
like the
to
movie I
music.
Still Believe then? I'm
Uh,
curious.
I haven't seen it yet.
You
Actually.
haven't? Okay.
No.
Because so like I think you commented on my video about it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And so like I didn't love the movie. I think it's a terribly made movie, but I love the story that it tells.
Yeah.
And it's funny, my aunt saw it and she loved it. She's like, this is the best movie for Christians. I'm like, no, these should be so much better. But
That's
so I
how
was
it is.
curious to see I'm curious to hear what your thoughts were on the movie, but you haven't seen it yet. So I recommend like checking it out when it's free. I wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend, what is it, like $20 right now on VOD? It's like
That's why I'm
insane.
waiting.
It's
Yeah.
insanely stupid. It's insanely stupid. Just throwing in as well, what is your favorite movie of all time as well? Throw out at least 5 if you can't think of the first one off the top of your head, but like what are like 5 like favorite movies? I mean, I see some movies in your background that I'm assuming might be up there.
So it's hard. Like my number one, like it changes a lot. Movies like what you see over here, Shawshank Redemption, The Dark
Great one.
Knight is great. Nightcrawler is actually in my top 5, which is it's
Okay.
crazy, but
You
I
need the
just love that
poster,
movie.
man. You need a poster behind
Yeah,
you
I
for
really
that.
do.
There's a cool Mondo poster. If you remind me later, I'll send you it
Yeah.
over Twitter. It used to be my background for a while. It's actually my background, like one of my older phones, but I
Mhm.
love to death that. But remind me and I'll send you it, because if you can find a link to how to buy that, that would be great for
I
your
love
background.
Mondo posters so much. I don't have any,
Mhm.
but they're so cool.
Dude, I have one. I almost bought the Spider-Verse one
Yeah.
last year when it came out, and I almost bought an Avengers one at Comic-Con. The only one I have is I got it like in the mail. It was like one of the coolest things I've ever gotten
Mhm.
sent. It was like my first year being press, and I was so excited for the movie Suspiria, and they sent
Oh
us
yeah, I
the
saw
Mondo
that.
poster for Suspiria. It's my favorite thing I own.
It's so
Or,
cool.
well, dude, and I was like shocked. I was like, you get stuff? You get
Yeah.
stuff like this? It was like the first big thing I had gotten. So it was like, and plus I love the movie too. So
It's really good. Yeah.
yeah, have you seen the original?
I haven't seen the original, but
Okay.
I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about the new one.
So I like the original, but I love the new one. I think the new one is actually stronger in its depth for
Yeah.
certain things, but I get why people love the original. But keep going on, like some of your favorite movies that you were talking about. You said Nightcrawler.
Some of my other favorite movies, Good Will Hunting's up there.
Great movie.
I don't know. There's a lot. I can even put the Toy Story movies high. Like seriously, I know you talk.
Which one's your favorite one?
My favorite Toy Story is the second one.
Yeah, the second one's so good. But this is the thing. I mean, if I rewatch them all, my ranking completely changed.
That's the
I
same
love.
thing.
Yeah, it's tough to rank them because they're all really good. And I know a lot of people have an issue with the fourth one. I just look at the fourth one as a total epilogue, man, to like
Yeah.
what made Toy Story great.
It's so good.
And I remember when we went to go see the fourth one, I was with Griffin and Tyler, and I'm sitting there and I was so excited, but I was so nervous at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, is this going to be bad? Like, is this going to be bad?
It
Like,
was
am I
your
going to walk out?
childhood.
Literally. And I was sitting there and I remember just watching it. I was just in pure tears,
Yeah.
laughing, smiling, crying,
Yeah.
like not even at the sad moments, but just like totally like in love with what was going on. that was probably like one of the best theater experiences I've ever had because I
Same
just
here.
felt so overwhelmed with the emotions. And I think the last time I actually felt like that was Force Awakens, when I saw that in theaters, because it was like the same thing, bringing Star Wars all back together. And I'm sure when Star Wars goes back in theaters again, I'm gonna feel the same exact way.
Yeah.
It's just very special. And I see a lot of the MCU stuff behind you. Is it Endgame your favorite Marvel film?
Endgame is my favorite Marvel film for right now.
Oh, okay.
It's another one of those things, it changes so much. Like, for the longest time, my favorite was Guardians of the
Same here,
Galaxy,
man.
then it was Winter Soldier, but I don't know, something about Endgame, I just
Yeah.
love it so
And
much.
then is Dark Knight Rises your favorite, or is that your favorite poster from it?
It's my favorite poster. I like
Okay.
Dark Knight better, but to me, Dark Knight Rises is so underrated, like,
It really is, man.
being on Twitter, like, there's this crazy amount of people that hate the movie for some reason, and I just don't understand it at all, like, to me,
Nah, man,
sometimes it's better.
I'm actually in the reverse. I think Dark Knight is the best made film in that trilogy, but
Yeah.
it's my least favorite when it comes to them. And that's comes from someone who has a giant Heath Ledger Joker poster above him. Like,
Yeah.
I love Batman Begins is my favorite Batman film. I think that is like that is a straight up Batman film.
It's the perfect origin story for Batman.
And then Dark Knight Rises, I think, is just a great conclusion to this
Yep.
series. And the Dark Knight has one of the best villains ever.
Mhm.
That's how I look at it. It just, and it's one of the best crime thrillers ever. I saw it like after the hype. I didn't get to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big portion of why. Did you get to see it in theaters or no? Were you?
I did. I saw The Dark Knight Rises in theaters. I didn't
seeing
see Dark Knight.
I did too, man.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the reason because the only person that took me to the movies really was my grandma.
Yeah.
She didn't want to see The Dark Knight. She said she just wasn't a fan of it. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's fine. So then she bought me it for like Christmas or something that year, and I watched it, and I was like, it's good. It's good, man. It's good. There's a couple movies that like that I always feel like The Hangover for the first time when I watched it, I thought it was a little overrated. Obviously on rewatches these movies get better because that opinion kind of goes out. What's like the most overrated film you've ever seen that you were just like, I've heard about that. I don't know about that one.
Most overrated film. That's
that you saw and you were like, I heard so many good things about this. And
trying to think. Overrated? Man, that's hard. I can't even think of anything.
It is tough. It is tough. It is tough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So with that said, Jaron, do you have any questions for me? Anything you want to ask me? Kind of like just a nice little back and forth.
I'll ask you, so when did you like finally get your footing? Like what did you do that finally made you like really get out there to people?
Like with like getting like an audience, or do you mean like
yeah,
when
like
I
when
felt
did you first start like really growing?
When I started, so my biggest regret when starting was not talking to other people. And you've already started. I think I even told you that. I think I don't remember if I told you, and then there's another Patreon supporter who lives in Arizona as well, who's a good friend of mine, Donnie, who I told the same thing to. If someone comments, you reply back.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Just reaching out, commenting on people's videos, being like, hey, good job, like great content, give your opinion, bam.
Yeah.
Many people were doing that for me. I was not commenting back at all. And I feel like that was the one thing that really, took me back. Like I really should have started talking to people earlier.
Yeah.
Once I actually started doing that, that's when I started because obviously you can't I can't just message Chris Stuckman and be like, hey dude, how you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, I found that the people were also starting around the same time as me. I started talking to them.
Yeah.
Now, if they started gaining subscribers and I did a collab with them, I started gaining subscribers.
Yeah.
Vice versa. And it was kind of like a back and forth and just growing in a sense like that actually really helped. When I actually started that though, I didn't feel so I think it was around 500 to 800 was when I was like, all right, I can do this. I can do this. Yeah. I didn't feel comfortable with my content completely yet, but I was still feeling good about it. I think once I hit 1,000 is when I felt really good. And I was like, all right, I have this.
Yeah.
And then it just starts still steamrolling. Once I felt like each video is at least getting 100 views, which some people will be like, oh, that's not that much. For me, that's a lot. I think if 100 people took the time to go watch a video, that's awesome.
Definitely.
More than that, sweet.
Mhm.
I'm not joking. Like if I get over 200, depending on the video, if it's like a video I put a lot of time into, and if it gets under 200, then I'll feel like, all right, I'm not
Yeah,
going to do
yeah.
that again. Which some people have asked me, why don't you do this anymore? Because no one watched it. You
Exactly.
might have liked it, but you don't watch it. That's why like people ask me, why don't you do a lot of video game reviews? Because they don't do that good.
Yeah.
Most of the time I just do them because I want to do the content, and also because I enjoy making them and I need a place to talk about them.
Right.
Animal Crossing did not do as good as I wanted. Many people asked me to do an Animal Crossing review, so I
Mhm.
did it. Didn't do as good as I wanted it to. Doom, if you look at like my Doom review to Animal Crossing, one took way more time than the other because I was like, there's no point in putting that much time into a video if not that many people are going to watch it.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy might be a little bit different, but again, I think it was around the 1,000 that I really felt like that's my footing. Now, when it came to me personally, like feeling like, do I actually like how I'm doing my stuff? It was around probably 2,000 when I was like, all right, I like the vibe that I'm doing. And you really like when you keep continuously doing reviews,
Mhm.
you start like getting in, not, I wouldn't say into a rut because I haven't gotten to that rut where I'm like, I'm just doing the same mundane thing. I
Yeah.
just started gaining like, okay, when I sit down to do this, this is what I have to hit. This is how I have to start. I need an intro. I need a beginning, kind of get all that out of the way, start talking about the movie. Pros, cons, grade, get to my conclusion.
Yeah.
And there's still some things I'm tinkering with in there. Over time, there's still some things like my catchphrase, stay classy.
Mhm.
That it's funny. A
Yeah,
lot
it
of
is.
people think that's from Anchorman. It's not. It's actually from something one of my old principals used to say. Now, again, he took that from Anchorman, now thinking back.
Yeah.
But it was not from Anchorman from original. I just like the thing, stay classy. I tried many different outros and stuff like that, but that was the one that I felt the most comfortable with, was saying, stay classy.
Yeah.
And obviously I changed it up, like for Star Wars stuff, I always say, may the force be with you, and elements like that. But I think that's really where it does. And once you feel comfortable, I think other people start feeling that,
Yeah.
if you can feel someone is not comfortable on camera, then you can feel it. But if they are
Right.
comfortable on camera, helps a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that answered your question. I know it kind of
Yeah,
got
I did answer it. Yeah. That was good.
okay. And anything else you want to throw in? Then we can jump into the movie news, or
Um, I don't know exactly, but I would say that probably without like your help, because I know like early on in my YouTube journey, I was reaching out to you about like how to advertise my videos and stuff. I
Mhm,
think with some of the stuff like you helped me with, like when it comes to video tags,
mhm.
if you wouldn't have mentioned that to me, I would have no idea.
Yeah. So I guess I'll give a little because I think I told you about vidIQ, right?
Yeah, vidIQ.
So let me show everyone. If you are trying to do YouTube and you do not have vidIQ,
It's the
now I'm
best.
not going to give all my tips on this, but if you do not have vidIQ, it tells you people's tags and it shows you how it ranks.
Yep.
This thing has been like literally, you need this, you need this, you need this, you need this. And I'm not gonna go into total things on that. I kind of leave that for like Patreon supporters,
Yeah.
and like close friends. But if you want any questions on that, I mean, Jaren can tell you. I'll help you on that. And I think video tagging literally is the most instrumental thing to getting out on YouTube. That's
Definitely.
just the truth. Yeah. I think Jaren talks, or not Jaren talks. Jaren Buckendahl, he has had a really good success on social media though, with
Yep.
clipping out stuff, which I'm not good with that.
That guy is so funny though.
He is very funny. I wish I was as funny as him.
Yeah.
But like my Instagram I use for a lot of event stuff. My Twitter I tweet about news and my thoughts on certain things. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I throw that out. But like when it comes to video tagging, I'm not a professional. But the thing is, like, don't try and go and look at like Chris Stuckman's or Jeremy Johns. They have the subscriber base that the algorithm is always going to throw them to the top. It don't matter. They don't even have to use tags. They don't want
Because
to.
they've been on there the longest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like, if you're up and coming, tags are literally your best friend.
Yeah.
Tags are literally your best friend.
Yeah.
Now, is vidIQ still free? Because I have like the free software. From what I understand, there is like a payment one. I don't do that one.
It is free, but there's also like a pro version.
Mhm. Which
So like
I don't know what it does. It could help you more if I don't
I
really
don't know
know
what it
though.
does either because I don't use it. But like the
Yeah.
free version is good enough for me.
But and I think just to throw this out, and I say this every week, if you want to start a YouTube channel, start now.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. You're gonna suck. You're gonna suck, and that's fine. That's fine. But you keep sucking until you're not sucking, and then you're better. And That's just kind of how it goes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think so many people worry about like detail and stuff, and it's not a bad thing. Like, yes, you do want the good audio. Yes, you do want the good lighting. But I literally started with like little desk lights, and
Yeah.
was it the best? No, but it worked. And I still do. I still tell everyone this. I use my phone for everything.
Yeah.
My phone literally is my camera. It helps a lot. And Yeti mics, $100. Yeah, but if you look on Amazon, sometimes they have deals where they're bundled with video games. You get a free video game and a mic.
Yeah.
It's freaking a great deal on that part. So, with that said, Jaron, let's get into some of the movie news. Obviously, the main topic of this is Daredevil coming to the MCU.
Yeah.
Let's start with this one first off. So, this big article came out, which let me pull it up. My friend Ren Geekness, who I do a podcast as well with, we discussed this a bit where pretty much to use these characters like Luke Cage, the Punisher, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, they were needing it. It had to hit a certain time frame, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
And here are the time frames. So Iron Fist, October 12th, 2020. Luke Cage, October 19th, 2020. Daredevil, November 29th, 2020. Punisher, February 18th, 2021. And Jessica Jones, February 18th, 2021 as well. Now, they could easily go and use this. They would just have to pay Netflix money. The other thing is, though, it's rumored right now, though, that these characters actually broke out and they're actually with them. Like, they have the rights to them. And Daredevil's a big character, man. What are your thoughts on the Daredevil series? Because for me, I think it's the best thing that Marvel's put out. I think Daredevil is straight up, not the one with Ben Affleck. This 3-season thing is one of the best character studies that Marvel's ever done.
It was seriously like one of the best shows on Netflix in general too, and I totally agree with you. It's just so well made. It was really disappointing when it got canceled, but now that it's coming to the MCU, that opens so many possibilities.
It does, and this is where I go as far to say, do you think they bring Charlie Cox back? I think they have to. They have to.
They have
and
to.
I think if they don't, there will be repercussions from fans being like, "Yeah, I don't care," because that's how I'll feel. I mean, yeah, I'll be excited, like, "Oh yeah, like we did," but you need Charlie Cox back.
Exactly.
The other thing I throw in though is, if they do bring Charlie Cox back, do they keep this same stuff that had already happened to him? I mean, and that's the thing. If they do bring Charlie Cox back, I don't see them doing that. I see, like, obviously the multiverse kind of opening up in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I think they can play around with like, well, this is a different iteration of Daredevil. Obviously, in this world, the Avengers, the event all happened, but Endgame never happened there. Iron Fist is there. And honestly, speaking of all these characters, I want them all back. I want all the actors back. I mean, if some people had problems with Iron Fist, if you didn't get to see the second season, that season is actually not that bad. And it actually made me like him a little bit more. And the way that second season ended, I want a little bit more because of Colleen. She's fantastic. But I love Ritter as Jessica Jones. The Punisher, Berthnall, is like phenomenal. I love him as the Punisher. And Mike as Luke Cage is great. So I think this comes out is... a lot of this is speculation. I think, obviously, Spider-Man's going to need a lawyer. I think that's where it comes down to. There's two possibilities. Is it Daredevil or is it She-Hulk? I think with this, I mean, Daredevil, it's got to be Daredevil. But I think for the overarching thing, I'm still going to say they're going to go with She-Hulk. I think they're still going to do the She-Hulk thing. But I think it's pre-She-Hulk. I think it's before she becomes Hulk. And I think that's how it ties into She-Hulk and kind of just goes down in that path. But I could be wrong. Again, if they announce tomorrow Daredevil is going to be in Spider-Man, I'm fucking flipping out, man.
To me, it makes sense to bring Daredevil in, though, because doesn't Daredevil and Spider-Man have the same villain in Kingpin?
They do. And that's another big thing, too. And there's a comic series where Kraven is hunting Spider-Man and Daredevil helps out.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm really predicting that Kraven is going to be the villain for this next Spider-Man film. It feels fitting for it to be Kraven. I also wouldn't be surprised if they don't do Kraven. I don't know. It's interesting because we don't know much about the Spider-Man film yet.
Yeah.
Where it's almost a year out at this point. Well, if it doesn't get pushed back, I don't think it will get pushed back.
No, I don't either. I think it's safe.
I think it's safe enough. Because what they'll end up doing is they'll just keep pushing Uncharted back. They'll keep pushing Uncharted back, and they'll get the Spider-Man first. But this is where I go is, do you want all these characters back? Do you care if you only get a certain one back? I think if you bring one actor back, you have to bring them all back if you use the characters. You can't bring Charlie Cox back and not bring Mike or Jessica Ritter back. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I trust whatever Kevin Feige wants to do, honestly. But to me, like, The main ones I have to have is Daredevil and the Punisher. I think
Those are
that'll
mine,
add,
yeah.
like, an extreme level of grit to the MCU that we've never experienced before.
But that's why you say grit. Do the MCU do grit? Because the grittiest film we've gotten from them yet is Winter Soldier, which is
Yeah.
great, but it's not to the grit of like Daredevil and Punisher. I still believe that you can keep these characters R-rated, do them on Hulu, but also bring them in to these team up movies like the Spider-Mans and such. I'm not telling you to bring Daredevil in the Endgame,
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
but you can put him in Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, all sorts of things like that. Because Moon Knight's the one I'm actually really curious to see how Disney Plus handles.
I don't
Because
even know much about that at all.
so Moon Knight is the Batman of the MCU who hunts like one of his main villains is like the Werewolf Man,
Oh, wow.
which it's rumored they're actually going to do, which is another way that they can tie in Blade. But that's my thing. How do you do Blade? Blade
Yeah,
can be PG-13, but it's going to have a little bit of grip. Moon
exactly.
Knight's the same way. Moon Knight's the one that I think if Moon Knight is at least a little gritty, same thing with Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Hmm.
I think you can do Daredevil in this. I think Daredevil feels a little bit more realistic, but I think you can still bring that into the MCU and make it work. But this is the one thing Kevin Feige has stated that he like pretty much wants all control,
Yeah.
which makes sense. So again, does the multiverse play in here? Does it not? I want to hear what people are saying in the live chat here and kind of just going through. Jordan Morgan throws in, if they can write Berthnall's Punisher into the MCU PG-13, that'll be impressive. And I agree. I just want these characters back in a sense. I'm glad that we at least got a good ending with the Punisher and Daredevil, like where it felt conclusive.
Yeah, yeah.
Same thing with Jessica Jones season 3. Iron Fist did not feel conclusive as well.
No, it
Damian
didn't.
Scott also said, I would love to see Jessica Jones bring back the same cast that played her. I agree in that as well. I think that is something that I really want to see. I just want to see these actors back as these characters. I think they're so good. And did you like Punisher more or Daredevil?
I personally like Daredevil more. I
See,
like Punisher as a character, but I think Daredevil was a much better made show.
I agree, man. But that's season 2 of Punisher with
It was
Daredevil.
so
It
epic,
was so
man. It was
freaking
great.
good. Did you like the Defenders though? Because I actually really didn't. Like the more
I didn't
thoughts on
either.
it, I thought it was very disappointing. Like for 8 episodes of just building up and like really going like they don't even become a team till like what the third one.
There was no payoff at all to me. I thought it was very
No,
disappointing.
it felt like they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's my issue. Like, I don't know. There was a lot of potential in Iron Fist. There was a lot of potential in Luke Cage. I think the biggest issue for all these shows is that they were like 3 episodes too long for each season,
Yeah.
except Daredevil. I still go as far as say I think Daredevil is the only one that actually made it work.
Exactly. Yeah.
And even the Punisher kind of did. I think the Punisher could have been like 1 episode short, but still. This is the main topic, guys. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts down below is. This isn't confirmed that this is happening, but there are many rumors and speculations that this is going to be happening. I think I think San Diego Comic-Con was going to be pretty big this year for MCU news and DCU news. I think they're still going to do something like a virtual thing about it. Because I think we are going to get the Eternals first look. We are going to get some news on Moon Knight, casting stuff. Now, I have a question for you. Now, if they were to recast Daredevil and the Punisher, who would you want?
Oh, that's hard. For the Punisher, honestly, I haven't even thought about that because I just see John Bernthal. For Daredevil, I don't know, man. If Ben Affleck wanted to come back and kind of like,
oh, come on, man, no,
no, so you don't like him in the original movie?
I think he's fine, but no, man.
I
personally, I don't want him in any other roles now for superhero stuff. If he don't want to be Batman, totally understand that. Don't do anything else.
I just think that like it was a time in his life to where like he was going through a lot of stuff, and I think if he wants to have a redemption story, come back as this character and work with these people that actually can make a movie. But like that's just my dream casting. I don't know who I'd actually pick.
I want Dan Stevens as one of them.
Good.
I think he could do either or. I want him to do something like that because that Call of the Wild movie I liked. Fucking hated him in it. Hated him in it. And someone just agreed with you in the chat to say, to be fair, Affleck wasn't the problem with the Daredevil movie.
Exactly.
I agree with that. He wasn't the problem. I still didn't like the movie though.
The only thing though, he's probably to the age to where it wouldn't really fit necessarily with the character.
No, he's a little older. I think they'd have to go younger right
Yeah.
now. And someone did mention, wasn't San Diego Comic-Con canceled today? Yes, sadly it was. I'm fighting with Airbnb personally to get my money back because I already, it sucks. They have this policy set in where it's like, well, if you cancel in between, if you booked here to here, you can get a full refund. Why book before that? Before any of this is going on? How is that fair to me? Like, I'm trying to help out. My host is actually really nice about it, but it's like Airbnb is just being a complete crap. Someone else just threw in a good fan casting. It hasn't popped up on my thing to grab it yet, but it says Daredevil, Bill Skarsgård, the Punisher, Zac Efron. I don't know if I love the Zac Efron thing, but Bill Skarsgård as Daredevil,
I could see that.
Dude, actually, I could see him as the Punisher with that like craziness, like
I could see him build though. That's the thing.
Anyone can build up to that though.
Yeah,
I think he can get there. True. But Mary Lou throws in the Punisher needs to be John Bernthal, and I totally agree with that. Like Charlie Cox and John Bernthal just need to stay as those two characters. Exactly. I think something the MCU has done so well so far is casting.
Yep.
And I think the only character everyone's kind of iffy on is the Iron Fist one.
Yeah.
Which I think it's just more the material than him. Someone just threw in Chris Pine as Daredevil. Don't know if I love that choice.
Yeah,
it's different. It's unique. It's all sorts of stuff like that. Oh, well, though, let's jump into the next thing. Dune. People have been wanting me to talk about Dune. We're talking Dune. Dune. So tell me what you think about Dune. Are you excited for Dune? Are you not? Tell me.
So Denis Villeneuve is like my top 2 favorite directors. Like looking at the pictures, looking at the cast, I'm totally excited for it. But Zach, please explain to me what Dune is, because I honestly have no idea at all.
So I'm only like a couple chapters into the book, so I can't like straight up be like, oh, this is what it is,
Yeah.
From what I understand and how it comes off to me, it's Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars.
It's
Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars, but it's a very much more adult themed. Like this is the thing, is that the book so far does not have a lot of action set pieces, which is why a lot of people say this is not an accessible movie to a movie audience, like a typical general movie audience goer.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when I show people, like I showed my parents the pictures of these, they freaked out. They're like, "That looks cool.
It looks amazing."
So getting that reaction, and that's only from a picture. The trailer is what I'm actually excited for. The reason this movie is going to succeed on that marketing. If that marketing is very well done, we're going to get it. It's going to make its money back.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were looking at this and were like, Blade Runner didn't make money. Warner Brothers would not have given Denis Villeneuve another film that's 200 plus million to start a franchise if they didn't believe in him.
Exactly.
He's seriously the best. I mean, every one of the films he's made has been either a masterpiece to a near masterpiece.
Right.
My favorite film of him is Arrival. What about you? What's your
favorite of his is Prisoners.
Prisoners is fucking amazing.
Prisoners is fucking
amazing. But we're gonna show the photos in a second. For me, Dune is straight up Lord of the Rings mixed with Star Wars a little bit, and there's a lot of words in there that are made up. So that's kind of also why it's got to be a little bit tough to kind of discuss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But from what I understand, a lot of the Robert Meyer Burnett discussed the script in a live stream, I think a couple days ago, and discussed that it does have a lot of action set pieces, which is something I actually thought they're gonna fit the accessibility in there, but they're also gonna open it up. And I posed this as this: when Lord of the Rings was coming out, no one knew it was gonna be this $1 million property. Like no one knew it was gonna be this big property. Like people knew it could be big. And I think they took the elements from the book, made it that adult theme.
Yeah.
But opened it up in a way that was like, it's accessible.
And the third one went on to win Best Picture.
Absolutely. And I think Ryan O'Toole throws in here, they need to promote Dune like it's a Star Wars film. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They have to promote it like it's a Star Wars film. And Ryan says, who looks the best in their Dune suits, Zach and Jaren? Well, Griffin has the answer. I mean, it's got to be Oscar Isaac. Which let's just look at Oscar Isaac, man. Let's look at these photos. We're going to go through these photos just a little bit. Let me share my screen so we can look at these beautiful things over here on my screen. So let's look at these, Jaron. Obviously, we have the first one that was shown.
Beautiful.
Of Timothée Chalamet, which looks amazing. just beautiful. Someone said he looks like
Yeah.
Kylo Ren. Sure. The fact that they
Kind
have
of.
Timothy Chalamet playing the main character is incredible. Okay. Zendaya looks
Zendaya.
incredible. Zendaya looks
She's the one that to me looks the best. I have a soft spot for
really,
Zendaya.
really. I love Zendaya,
Yeah.
dude. And after Far From Home, I've been really, really excited to see what we do with her. All
Yeah.
right, moving forward a little bit more. That's not her. Dino
That's the
Dana.
one I was looking forward to the
Dino
most.
Dana. Dino Dana. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, man. This looks incredible. Everyone should go
Amazing.
watch Dino Dana. Zendaya, another great picture. This one with her. Oh my god, dude. I
That
don't
one
know.
is so cool.
Well, and this is the thing that I've been reading. A lot of people actually have issues with the female characters in the book. From what I understand, Denis Villeneuve talked about like opening them up a little bit more. So that makes me excited. And I'm excited that we're getting 2 movies, but it also worries me that like if this doesn't make the money, are we not getting a second movie?
That's hard to tell.
This is the best one. This
That
is the
is
best
so
one.
cool.
He's such a badass. Like just look
And
that
Brolin
beard,
in the
that
background.
everything. Yeah, and him playing Timothy Chalamet's dad with Rebecca Ferguson playing the mother, just perfect. Josh Brolin back there. Another advertisement, just another up close shot of that.
So cool.
Seen that one. Dino Dana again. This one's a great one. We have Timothy. We have Jason Momoa in there. Josh Brolin. We have the whole cast pretty much lined up in there. Just beautiful. Now this, I don't know who this is. From what I understand, this is Zendaya's mother. I could be completely wrong, but this is who I'm guessing that's Zendaya's mother. Looks amazing.
That is so cool.
And he's actually talked about that he is going to be playing a Han Solo type character.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how that exactly feels. So we'll see. Again, beautiful, beautiful. I love the armor set pieces. That trailer is gonna blow us all away, man. That trailer is gonna straight up blow us all away, and I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
I think Dune looks amazing, and
I do too.
And I said this even after the photos. If I can just like one film for the rest of the year, it's Dune. I'm sorry, Tenet. I really want to see Tenet. I love Nolan. He's top 3 directors for me. Denis Villeneuve's top 5 right now. But if he knocks Dune out of the park, it's going to work.
It's definitely the one I'm the most curious about for sure.
Yeah. But, and Griffin Show season, I don't think that would be smart, Ryan, to market it like Star Wars, which I kind of see. I don't agree that they should promote it like Star Wars. I think they need to promote it something like that. They need to promote it like Lord of the Rings. I think they need to promote it as a new, like this generation's Lord of the Rings. I think the possibilities of seeing like this big franchise come to life is something that I haven't been alive for. Like I was alive for Lord of the Rings, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, I think the thing about if you market it like Star Wars, everybody's kind of got a bad taste in their mouth right now with the last Star Wars film. It kind of turned people away. I think you need to go in a different direction.
Yes. And someone asked, what do you think of the 1984 Dune? I think it's fine. Have you ever seen it?
I've never seen it.
It's okay. Someone else throws in Zendaya was great in Euphoria. Absolutely. That's also what made me really come to like her. And Ryan O'Toole says, I will see Dune over Tenet right away. Tenet and Dune is the only movie I care about. And that's honestly the truth. I mean, if I look at those are the only 2 movies, those are my most anticipated movies. I'm really excited for Dune. I'm really excited for Tenet. But again, if they were both coming out tomorrow, I could only see one. It's going to be Dune. Let's move forward into the next movie news, my friend. And we are going to be going over the Capone trailer, directed by Josh Trank. It used to be called Fonzo. It stars Tom Hardy, Linda Cardellini. It's a movie that I've been really looking forward to, man. Like seriously looking forward to. So that's the thing. Griffin and Tyler Tompkins hated that trailer.
I don't understand why. It was amazing.
I think it looks good to okay. It looks like a typical gangster movie, but I like gangster movies. Those are kind of like my little hard spots for me and my little guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
And for me, I love Josh Trank's film Chronicle. Have you seen Chronicle?
Oh, Chronicle is amazing.
It's amazing. And then Fantastic Four came out, and I know there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff of him maybe being a douchebag and stuff like that, which we're not going to get into. That I don't know what's true and what's not.
Yeah.
Just judging off the films he's made, it seems Fantastic Four had a lot of production issues. I love Chronicle. I'm so excited for this version of Capone. The one thing I know we're for sure going to get is a great performance from Tom Hardy. That is 100% I know the thing we're going to get. Comes out in May. The 2 things that worry me is that it's being distributed by the guys who make Gotti.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. It's also VOD. And for me, why is it coming out now in May? Why aren't we waiting till fall season? You know, those are kind of the things that makes me wonder, why are we pushing it out now? Could be a good time. Maybe this is their strategy, is like, nothing's coming out. This is the best time for us to put it out, get it some word of mouth. I don't know. And Ryan O'Toole says, I hope it's not like Legend, which I like Legend, but a lot of that's because of Tom Hardy. Have you seen Legend when he's playing the two brothers?
I have seen Legend. It's okay to me. It's not the best, but it's not terrible.
So it's interesting in that factor. I'm very much in the discussion of where do we go with this. A lot of people come out. I know someone who's seen a cut of the film.
Wow.
Who was at a test screening. Picky person, liked it. Ryan Johnson gave some good word, liked it. I've seen good word of mouth about this film, so it could just be face. It could not be. Who knows? I guess we will find out very soon. Now, also kind of going into this, someone also just threw in something that was not in our notes, but I guess we'll discuss it. Also, you got any news regarding Venom 2 trailer or anything? So I'm going to say this. Venom 2's trailer would have been out by now if everything was normal. That's it. Venom 2, we would have gotten Venom 2, Dune. We would have gotten a lot of these films trailers by now, but we're not because of everything going on. Venom 2, I think I think that'll be one of the very first trailers that pop out the second everything goes back to normal. I'm actually really excited for Venom 2. I was one of the people who liked Venom 1. First act is complete shit for that movie, but once he gets Venom, the movie gets pretty entertaining.
It's just a good time, man.
Totally. Great. And I think that is where I go to say, the trailer, I think we'll get in May or June. I think that's when we'll get it. They don't need to release it now at all.
No.
The movie's still coming out in October, hopefully, but that's kind of how I'm looking at it. And Dylan's reviews also throw out, Capone will determine whether or not Josh Trank is a good director. I actually think that's actually true. This will show if it's a one-hit wonder or not. And I'm actually really excited to see how he does. So going into the last thing, the big news that came out is the big movie that changed release dates this week due to the coronavirus was Soul. Soul moved from June to November. This is something that I said was most likely going to happen. I think it's probably going Disney Plus and then just release it later. But Raya and the Dragon moved to March. March is a big stack the year next year. There are 3 movies now that have currently not moved that I'm shocked that I've not moved. Kong vs. Godzilla. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that movie.
Yeah, like why?
And that's another one. If that trailer does not come out when all these other trailers coming out, that movie's getting pushed back.
Yeah, it definitely is.
100%. Tenet, which is I still think is just because they're holding out. And I only have 2. Those are the only 2 I'm still kind of wondering about. But Soul's coming out at a good time. I think November's a good prime time, even though November is stacked. The whole back of the year is pretty much stacked at this point. Yeah. More movies are going to move from those and probably get moved to next year. But Soul, I'm excited for it. I think it looks brilliant. They're definitely positioning this to be like, yeah, we want this to be some Oscar caliber type stuff. Are you excited about Soul moving? Were you hoping that maybe it would come out in June?
It was my most anticipated Pixar movie of the year.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so I was looking forward to it. I was kind of disappointed, but it kind of makes sense. Like, to me, it kind of fits in November.
Yeah. And throwing in film speak, Griffin just said Kong v. Godzilla is going to bomb.
You're right.
Depends on marketing. Depends on marketing. The test screening for those, if you've read some of the things on it, there's one guy I follow who, like, every single thing he says about test screens is, like, pretty accurate. It has a really good score for a test screening, and it's supposed to be only in like an hour. Like the first cut that they showed was like only an hour and 50 minutes. And I guess they pulled a lot of that human element out and just went straight for the monsters.
That's what was wrong with the second Godzilla movie.
Yeah, I loved King of Monsters. Loved King of Monsters, but I get that.
Yeah.
Film Speak also shows the only movies I think stand a chance of making good money is No Time to Die, Top Gun Maverick, and West Side Story. Dude, throw in Black Widow. Black Widow's going to make money. I think Black Widow makes some good money. I think West Side Story does make money. Top Gun's going to kill. No Time to Die kills. And I think Wonder Woman does as well. Soul, I think, will not make the amount of money it would have made. I think that's going to make around the $500 million. But definitely, I think those 3 are good to go.
So are you still anticipating Black Widow?
Yes, I am. It's not my most. It's not like if I can only choose from 5 films, it's not up there. Yeah. But it's gonna make money. It's a fucking MCU film. It's gonna make fucking money. I know tons of people who are really excited about that movie more than Wonder Woman in Arizona. So
yeah,
And then he also throws in, oh yeah, I've heard some amazing details about this film from people who did set visits. And that's the thing. Again, I think that movie is going to thing. Round two says, I can see No Time to Die making $1 billion. I don't see any movies
Oh,
making $1 billion
I
this
don't
year,
either.
personally.
No.
The only two films I actually could see is Black Widow and Wonder Woman at this point, but that's very, very C. And he says, Film Speak, see, Black Widow will do well for the first week, but No Time to Die is going to crush it.
Of course you say that, Griffin.
Maybe though. I'm telling you, I know people who don't care about the James Bond franchise.
Yeah, I know a lot of people
who, if it comes down to a Marvel film, James Bond, they're gonna go to the Marvel film more, which is insane, but that's just how it goes. Round two, come on, Disney, release New Mutants to Hulu or Disney Plus.
That's what I'm gonna say this.
No, I want to see it in theaters. The other reason though is they can't because it's a Fox property. If any movies from Fox go to a streaming service, it's HBO, and that's something that I don't think people are understanding. This is till the end of 2021. So they can't release it. They want it. It's going to make more money in theaters than anything like that. And then Pikachu Cat, who does a lot of the art for my channel. If you want great artwork, go over them. What do you think is going to happen in the Heights? In the Heights will probably Ryan says I think it's going to come in December. It doesn't come out in this year. I don't see it coming out in this year at all.
You don't?
Especially website. No. They pulled it off that schedule for a reason. There's no position to put that movie in to make any money. It's going to come out early next year, maybe a February type thing, maybe April. Yeah. But I do not see it coming out at all this year, sadly, because I was actually getting really excited for that movie. But it is not coming out at all.
So did they postpone it already? Or
it's taken off the schedule. They said we don't know when we're going to put it out, but when it is, it will be.
I wish they just released it in December, honestly. I feel like musicals do really good in December.
West Side Story's in there. That's the big thing.
Okay, yeah.
So that's the thing. Film Speak, if it was any other Marvel film, I'd probably agree with you. It's just middling enthusiasm mixed with it being in the same genre as Bond and Bond being at Craig's last film. I don't know. It'll be close. It'll be close. It'll be interesting. Again, I think once we start seeing where Mulan and if Tenet stays where Tenet goes and Wonder Woman, those are kind of be the projects of like how the rest of the year will be going for movies.
Here's the thing for me. I honestly don't think Black Widow is going to do as great as a lot of people anticipate just because people already know the fate of her character. They know the outcome.
But people want to know more. And the other thing, though, is I want to throw in is Captain Marvel made $1 billion.
That's true.
Given
it was a new story, though.
Given, yes. But that's kind of the way I view it, you know.
Yeah. It's Marvel, so yeah.
That's the way I'm viewing it, man. Throwing in as well, Max says, I really don't think that Soul's going to make big bucks. I don't think so either. I think it makes in the 500 to 600 million. Yeah. But I think if it was coming out in June, it would have made $1 billion. Almost $1 billion. Because every Pixar film that has come out in June has made near or $1 billion. Film Speak, as for KVG, I hope it does well, but King of Monsters did horribly, so I'm like nervous. That's how I feel. But that's why I feel like they're putting time into it to get the best reviews.
Hopefully.
He also says, also great job, loving the stream. Thank you so much. Jordan, Taskmaster is why I'm seeing the movie. Same here, man. I mean, I love Taskmaster.
That's the biggest appeal.
Yeah. Brock Upside, I honestly don't think I think only having a couple comic book films this year will be refreshing due to some people being tired of half a dozen each year. Yes and no, because a lot of the general audience members do not feel that way. It's a lot of older people and film fans that I feel like feel that. Mm-hmm. Like my dad, he's fucking tired of all of them. This is a fun fact. Did you know the Blade Runner movie made less than the Emoji Movie?
Is he talking about 2049 or the original?
Emoji Movie box office. That's a lot of money. Blade Runner 2049 box office. No, Blade Runner made more, you crazy. It made 30 million more. Still not that much. But
I was going to say, what are people thinking? That movie was horrendous.
Another reason people are saying is Florence Pugh is why I'm going to see this movie.
That's a good reason, man. I mean,
I love her. I love her. I'm still saying she dies in the movie. I don't think she lives.
We haven't heard anything else about her. No sprinkles of information about her.
No.
So yeah.
Nope. So I think she dies. I think this Black Widow movie is coming out. One, because Scarlett at this point deserves one. Mm-hmm. Two, they're giving more background history to her. And this phase 4, people aren't understanding, is not going to be as interconnective as the other phases were. This is going to be like phase 1 again, where it kind of connects, but kind of doesn't. And we're going to move a little bit through it, introduce new characters, expand some things. Like Doctor Strange Multiverse is going to be the one that expands a lot. But Shang-Chi is going to add to the world. Eternals is going to add to the world. Black Widow, I think, is going to add some new elements. Like I have a prediction that the Thunderbolt villains are going to really be coming through that because of Thunderbolt Ross and all that stuff. I think that's how it's going to actually tie into Winter Soldier and Falcon.
That's a good prediction, yeah.
And FilmSpeak throws in, he agrees with me, the vest theory. She's wearing the same fucking vest in Infinity War that Florence Pugh wore in the trailers.
Oh, wow.
Just throwing it in there.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, and Ryan O'Toole says, I have a theory for the end credit scene for Black Widow. I'd love to know what the end credit scene is, or the theory is. My theory for Black Widow actually is, I actually think Florence Pugh is Taskmaster.
That's...
In the trailer, she's the only one we haven't seen actually fight him yet.
Okay.
Everyone else, there's been some scene of them fighting or in the same thing. There's also the other theory that I have that I think there are multiple people taking on the persona of Taskmaster.
Either that or she gets killed really early on.
Who?
Florence Pugh.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know, man.
It's hard to judge.
It's hard to judge.
That would be really cool if that was the case, that she was the villain.
Personally, for me, though, I would actually want her to still be alive, but I think she dies off. I think Florence...
Yeah.
I don't see Florence Pugh like this being her type of genre is to play around in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I could be wrong. Maybe that is what she wants to do, but I just don't see it.
She's more independent.
Ryan O'Toole says it's going to be Black Widow's funeral. Yelena survives, and it's approached by Nick Fury is giving the new Black Widow costume. I could see that, but I also don't. I don't know. The only reason I don't see that is because we're already handing the mantle of Captain America to the Falcon. So what, we're just going to hand Black Widow to, you know what I mean? So like, that's what we're just going to do. Like, we got rid of these actors aren't playing around in this field anymore for a reason.
Yeah. I
mean, I'm going to tell you this, Scarlett Johansson, I'm sure would still be playing Black Widow if the choice wasn't to kill her off. That's the honest truth. And I think she still would have been doing it. The difference between Captain America and Iron Man, they were just done. They were done.
Yeah, yeah.
So still believe they're going to eventually come back in some capacity.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I think Downey 100%.
Oh, yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. Multiverse, something like that. And I'm not saying like next 10 years. I'm saying like 12, 15.
Like
we see Chris. Yeah, I'm saying we see Chris Evans as Captain America coming back. Not in a fighting format,
maybe
but
like
as maybe a mentor.
Yeah.
The leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. now, because he didn't die, guys. He's just old.
He's old, yeah.
Just old. So people got to understand that. Rantoul says basically forwarding to the end of Endgame since we don't get a funeral for now. That could make sense. I hope Yelena doesn't die, but why would Natasha would dye her hair blonde? Maybe in the memory of her, or to play off that she is her.
Possibly.
Because she's dead and she has to take her place. Isn't Marvel doing Young Avengers movie? So maybe they might keep her alive, but we'll see. She's not that young. She's not that young. Like, Young Avengers is like young. I mean, she's young, but I don't know.
They're like teenagers.
Yeah, I don't see them doing that. And honestly, I don't even want a Young Avengers thing. If I really don't. I would, if they're gonna do Young Avengers, do a show. But yeah. I really don't. I'm just not a big fan of the Young Avengers personally. I mean, you can change my mind on that, but I don't want Spider-Man with the Young Avengers. I don't want Cassie Lang with the Young Avengers. I don't know. Whatever. Guys, make sure to start throwing your questions into the live chat. That's the next place we're going to be going to. We are done with all the topics for today, so I am going to go all the way back up to the live stream, all the way up to see any of the questions that we did miss. Then we'll be taking your guys' live Q&A questions for the rest of this live stream. One thing I do want to say is thank you guys so much for watching this. You guys seriously are the best. If you guys are new here, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, and also head on over to Jaron's channel, hit that subscribe button as well over there. The link is down below, and leave a comment on one of his newest videos and be like, hey, Zach sent me over here. The other thing I want to throw out there, of course, is just in general, thanks so much for watching this. If you're catching this later after the live stream, comment down below some questions if you guys want us to answer anything for next week's. I don't have a guest yet. I have some in mind. I'm still kind of deciding on who I want to reach out to. We will see. I'm worried that my work's going to be opening back up soon and that I'll have to kind of change the schedule for this. I'm hoping not. But Jaren, again, thank you so much for joining in. Is there anywhere you want people to follow you at?
You can follow me on Twitter. Just search up Jaren Talks Movies. Same with Instagram. Like he said, Jaren Talks Movies on YouTube. That's where you can find me.
Yep, there we go. There we go. All right, so going all the way back up to the questions. I don't know why this thing's not letting me go all the way back up. So that sucks. So kind of just taking in, where do you think each of the Defenders would most likely pop up in the MCU out of the current slate of films / shows of known of? I think a Moon Knight or Blade is kind of the most logical one, or Spider-Man. I think we kind of discussed that already. Do you see it anywhere else?
No, I say that's probably it.
Okay. And then we already discussed this one. Would you bring back Charlie Cox back as Daredevil, or would you recast him? Obviously, bring Charlie back.
Bring him
that's
back,
kind of yeah, that's a big one. All right, moving back down. That was the only thing. All right, film speak. All right, gents, thoughts, gents. Dave Filoni and Rian Johnson are the only ones allowed to make Star Wars films anymore.
Agreed.
I would be fine with it. I mean, personally, for me, I think Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau should be the ones actually heading the creative side and the story decision side on Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy can still produce. She's a good producer. She just shouldn't be in the meddling with the story stuff. So I agree. Rian Johnson, and here's the thing. I've said this, and in my Star Wars ranking, The Last Jedi is pretty low in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think The Last Jedi is the best made Star Wars film since Empire Strikes Back. It's the best made Star Wars film. I don't love all the choices, but if you give Rian Johnson another Star Wars film with this trilogy that he wants to make, which is never going to happen, I actually kind of wish it would now. I think it'd be different because he gets to play in his own field.
Yeah. Okay, so you asked me earlier what I thought was like the most overrated movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this is one of the most overrated. Last Jedi to me is definitely the best well-made, but like Force Awakens to me is probably one of the most overrated movies I've seen.
Force Awakens, really? That's my second favorite Star Wars film.
That's a hot take. Yeah, I know.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm clicking you out, man. Sorry. JK, you're back. Ryan Notool, isn't Morgan Stark a part of the Young Avengers, Tony's daughter? There's some incarnations of that. There's many different people who have taken the mantle of Iron Man. Again, I don't really want to see that now.
I don't really care enough.
Like, I'm fine with Falcon, but again, I don't want to see another interpretation of Black Widow. And plus, we're getting a different interpretation of Hawkeye eventually with I can't remember the character off the top of my head, but if we're gonna get that, I'm fine with 2. Don't give me anything else.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best and worst Disney live action remake? For me, I would probably say the best is Jungle Book, and I think the most fun is Aladdin. The worst, oh God, Lion King. I really didn't like Lion King.
My thoughts exactly.
But at the same time, I get why people like it. I really did. And here's the thing. I don't think any of these are like piss poor, like terrible fucking remakes. Like they're all watchable. You can watch and be entertained. I even like the Alice in Wonderland. Oh, actually, no, that's it. The second Alice in Wonderland was fucking terrible. That movie's actually garbage.
I just skipped it. I didn't even watch it. I skipped it.
It's fucking terrible. But I think Pete's Dragon's underrated. I think Cinderella's underrated.
Oh, yeah.
Beauty and the Beast is probably bad. More watches I've kind of done on that one. The only thing I like about it is Gaston.
Yeah.
But yeah, good question there. Brock upside. I volunteer as tribute. I'm guessing that's to be a guest. You're on the list. I have like certain people I need to get to first that I've already promised. But yeah. What do you think? Who do you think will be some of the cameos in Multiverse of Madness? I've said this. I think this is the smartest place to put Deadpool. He opens up a portal. Deadpool's there talking. Who the fuck are you? Close it right before he says fuck.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be in there long.
No, just like that. I think Blade shows up in this. I think this is the first place that you show Blade. I think Moon Knight's a smart one to throw in there. Sam Raimi's doing it.
Toby.
I gotta say Toby. It's only if they can get him, though. I think it's only if they can get him. Because Toby's, from what I understand, he's not an easy person to work with.
What's the last thing he's even been in?
He's produced a lot. He's produced a lot.
Okay.
He produced Brittany Runs a Marathon last year.
Oh, which was a good movie. I didn't know that.
Oh, see, I thought it was a little overrated.
You did? Really?
Yeah, man. I thought she was such a fucking bitch. I could not.
That's true.
That dinner scene It made
Oh
me
yeah.
hate her. Literally made me hate her. And it actually lowered my score for the movie. I was at like a B plus, A minus at that point.
Hmm.
The second it hit that part, I was no redemption there. I was like,
Yeah,
you're a fucking bitch.
that's understandable.
But I think those are the cameos I could see.
Yeah.
The only other one I could actually see popping in there as well is I'm just curious on the villain they do. That's the thing. I'm most because Baron Mordo was set up in the first one. Are we still doing Baron? Are we not?
Yeah.
I think Bruce Campbell shows up though. It's a Sam Raimi film.
I
Bruce
he
Campbell's gonna show up.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if he'll be a villain, but I think he'll be a
Yeah, but I personally I don't see them doing the Toby thing. I know a lot of people want them to. I just think it would take away from that story.
yeah.
I think there could be a setup, but I've still said this. I think in the next 8 years we're going to get a Spider-Verse live action, and it's going to be Tom Holland. I think they're going to get Garfield, and I think that's how they get Maguire back.
Yeah.
But Maguire will not be a major part of it. It'll be Garfield will be the main one.
Right.
Garfield will be the main one. Jordan Morgan says he subscribed to Jaren, so congrats, Jaren.
Appreciate that.
I think Taskmaster is Rachel White's character. I don't remember his name. So that's what I initially thought. But there's a scene in the last trailer with Taskmaster and her fighting.
That's
so
true. Yeah.
Can't be her. Okay, for the MCU shows, who do you want to see play Moon Knight and She-Hulk? For me, I would want Ryan Gosling and Moon Knight and Betty Gilpin as She-Hulk. Betty Gilpin as She-Hulk. Fuck yeah.
That's a good
Fuck
choice.
yeah. Moon Knight, though, my number one choice would be Shia LaBeouf, even though I know it won't happen.
That's good.
I think what's going to happen with Moon Knight, though, is going to go unknown for that character, but they're going to stack the rest of the cast around him. He also reminds me that Kate Bishop is the new Hawkeye. Yes,
That's right,
thank
yeah.
you. That's exactly who it is. Rex, the Siege of Mandalore is going to be so awesome. Hands down, this arc is going to be the best Star Wars story ever told. Do you watch Clone Wars at all?
I don't actually. I
Dude.
started season 1, but I'm not caught up yet.
Dude, are you watching it in order though? Like the order that you're. So if you don't know this, the seasons are all mixed up. The episodes are fucked up. You have to actually go look up an order to watch them in.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so go look up the order, or you'll be completely confused. Like one character will die in season 1, but season 2 he'll come back, and you'll be like, "What the fuck?"
Okay.
But dude, I mean, it's a little kiddie at times. Last night's episode of the beginning of the Siege of Mandalore was straight up top 3 Star Wars stuff I've ever watched.
Yeah, I saw you
tweet
about it.
Fucking phenomenal, and it feels like a movie. I love it. Rex, you are completely right. How do you think Marvel will incorporate the Fantastic Four and X-Men? I've said this 1,000 times. Doctor Doom, Black Panther 2 villain has to be. Make it happen. Fantastic Four. Yep. Imagine during Endgame, their king is gone. Shuri is gone. He's conquering different plates of the world as this is going on. You're not going to handle him. That's not their business. He's doing it very slowly and small.
That's a really good take, actually.
Fantastic Four-wise characters, I think they were supposed to show up in Ant-Man 3. That was the big rumors that they were supposed to show up in that script. That is not happening anymore. Just give them their own movie. End credit scene kind of thing. That's it. I don't want to see anything else. I don't want to see this one pop up here, this one pop up here. Throw them in. X-Men, I think, is different. Pop them up in different movies, then bring them all together.
Yep.
What about you? Anything else to that?
I'd pretty much agree with that.
Awesome. What is your favorite comic book movie? You can go.
My favorite comic book movie is The Dark Knight. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good.
For me, it would probably be so my favorite of all time. The best made is Logan.
Oh yeah,
For me, I think Logan is the best made comic book film. But my top 4 switch. It either goes Spider-Verse, Logan, Guardians, or Deadpool. I mean, I think Deadpool's great. Spongy, can I be on your podcast someday? Maybe. Give Bruce Campbell a cameo. I agree.
Yeah.
What is your favorite James Bond movie? What about you? I'll let you take this one first.
My favorite James Bond movie is Casino Royale.
Same. That's my favorite one. I have not seen a lot of them though, so I'm finally going to go through them all this year. So that's kind of my favorite thing. Exciting.
I'm marathoning through them right now, so I'm seeing a lot that I've never seen before.
Nice. What's the one that you've seen that you were like, dang, that was actually really good? That you were like surprised by?
Dr. No. Like I'm
really
surprised at how good that one was. Yeah.
Okay. Damian Scott, do you think John Krasinski will be Mr. Fantastic in the MCU? I want him to be, but I think it's too good to be true. I think it's too good to be true.
You don't think it'll happen?
I think there's a 50-50 chance. I think there's more of a likely chance that he'll direct it than act in it.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, I know it's rumored that Joss Whedon's rumored. I do not want Joss Whedon doing that.
No.
I think his Avengers films, they're good, but they're a little overrated now.
Yeah.
What big movie do you think will bomb this year? Well, I mean, Griffin already spoke about it. I don't want it to bomb, but it's Godzilla versus Kong if it comes out.
That's what I'd agree with. Yeah.
The other films that I think could bomb. I mean, that's the only one, the big one. I mean, Dune's a possibility of bombing.
It's possible. The other ones, I think they're going to get their audience.
They will because they already have something there.
Exactly, yeah.
The only other one I could see doing okay is Free Guy, which I actually hope does really well. But I think Ryan Reynolds, I think it'll do well enough, but it won't be as good as they want it to be.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard of the Wonder Woman 1984 plot leaks? Then Taskmaster is the other actor that was announced. I know that other actor's been announced, but I think he could be Taskmaster, and that could just be it. I don't think so. I don't know about the plot leaks. In fact, okay, well, here's the thing. I know someone who actually did see a test screening of it. I've discussed it. I'm not going to say his name because I might actually have him on my channel eventually. He seemed Wonder Woman. He did not like the test screening at all.
Oh.
But he did talk to me about certain things, and the things that he didn't like, I like. So, just certain choices in there. What is your favorite movie of all time? Wolf of Wall Street.
Right now, like I said, it mixes up. I'd probably go with Shawshank right now.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Unrelated to Marvel, but which Star Wars Legends character would you like to see in canon? Do you know any of the Legends characters?
I don't think so.
Okay. Darth Revan. Any of that Old Republic shit I want. Do you think Johnny Depp's acting career is over due to the circumstances with Amber? No, he'll have a resurgence.
Yeah, I don't think it's over.
He'll have a resurgence in like 5-6 years.
Mm-hmm.
How do you watch the first season of Clone Wars? Disney Plus. Jaren, just to be safe, the first 2 seasons of Clone Wars is kind of rough, but yeah, I agree, dude. First 2 seasons are fucking rough.
They're rough,
but
okay.
Yeah, but you can't skip over them. So,
all right.
When do you think New Mutants will finally get released? I think regardless, it's destined to be fail, but it'll still be going day one. It's not gonna fail. It's gonna make a decent amount of money. It's not gonna make bonkers money. It's gonna make fine.
Yeah, okay.
It'll get released in. They'll either do September, I feel, or January next year. Do you think there's a chance that Godzilla versus Kong could end up on HBO Max? Fuck no. Mm-mm. Fuck no. That's a $250 million plus franchise. There's no way that goes to HBO Max. A movie I do see going to HBO Max is Scoop. I could see that going to HBO Max.
Yeah.
Into the Heights, though, I saw a theory on that. That could go there. I don't think so, though. Do you guys think Mulan will be the best remake?
I don't.
I think made-wise, yes.
Really?
Audience loving it? No. I think I actually think that's going to have a net. Critics are going to have like that in the 90s. When it comes to actual people, like general, there's a bug in here. What the fuck? General people, no. What do you think about Kick-Ass being 10 years old? I think it's top 10 comic book films ever made. I love the first Kick-Ass. I love the first Kick-Ass. Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi. Rise of Skywalker, I enjoy more to watch. Last Jedi is a better made film.
I'd have to go with just Last Jedi in general.
Really? Do you not like Rise of Skywalker?
I really enjoyed it the first time, but I went back and rewatched it recently, and it was very messy to me. All the problems were much more.
You know what's funny though? The more I watch it, the more I like it. It's different. I don't know what it is. John Krasinski is the one who met with Marvel. Well, yes, I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know what it was for. How come your favorite movie, video games, and TV shows are all from 2013? It's just how it was.
Good year.
Yeah, it just was. I mean, Breaking Bad didn't start in 2013.
No.
It was during start date. Yeah, it started in 2008. Crazy. And then video game wise, I think The Last of Us came out. Yeah, that one came out in 2013 as well. 2013 was just an instrumental year for me. That's kind of that one. The Siege of Mandalore. Oh, Logan or Dark Knight? Logan for me. I'm sure you're going to say Dark Knight, though.
I'm going to say Dark Knight, but I really like Logan.
Yeah. The Siege of Mandalore is the Rise of Skywalker we should have gotten, in my opinion. Maybe. Got to see how the rest of the season plays out, though. It ended in 2013. Might have ended in 2013.
but it
Oh,
didn't
well.
start.
Okay, so guys, 2 more questions, then we're ending this live stream, this podcast. So throw in the 2 best questions. I'm going to. Oh wait, I like this question. So 2 more after this. Controversial MCU opinions. I want to hear from you, man.
Okay. Let me see. Iron Man 3 is amazing.
I
I'll
agree.
go with that. Like,
I
I don't
agree.
know if that's controversial. I think to me, I actually enjoy Iron Man 3 more than the first one. I'll go with that.
Really?
Yep.
Now, I actually think it's a better made film.
Yeah.
Like the first one a little bit more, but I love Iron Man 3. I love Iron Man 3. I've never gotten the fucking hate about that movie.
No, I don't understand it at
Like,
all.
fine, the twist, whatever. It's a fucking twist. It's a movie. Get
I
over
I
it.
didn't read the comics. So
And
I was like,
people need to
okay.
freak out. The Mandarin's gonna be in Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't really care
Yeah.
about the twist. It was a good movie.
What else? Anything else you got from?
Anything else? I'd probably say I don't know. Is this controversial? I think Captain Marvel was bad.
I think some people, yeah. I don't think it's bad. I think the movie got better as it went on.
Yeah.
I think the movie has the same issues as the first 2 Thor films. It doesn't know what it wants to be.
Exactly.
That's really what it feels like. Anything. It's like, it's funny. The stuff with Captain Marvel on Earth works really well. The stuff in space does not. It should have been the opposite of that.
It should have
Where
been.
Thor was the opposite of that. So I think they really need to get a really good director for that next Captain Marvel film.
That's just the first Marvel movie. I fell asleep in the theater too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was so
the
bored.
first one that I didn't want to go again and watch. Oh, Jaren. Oh, hello?
Are you there?
Yeah. Oh, that was weird.
Yeah.
He's back. He's back, everyone. He's back. Max Bolin asked, do you think the role of Jack Sparrow is getting tired? I mean, like, do you think it's run? For me, no. Fuck it. Give me as many Pirates of the Caribbean movies as I want. What about you?
They're fun. I mean, they're nothing like super big and crazy, but like I enjoy them.
Yeah. Favorite MCU actress? Right now it would probably be. I mean, you got to say Scarlett because she's had the most depth in it.
I'd say Scarlett too. Yeah.
But I would go. It depends with what they do with Valkyrie and Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Because they could do a lot with that. Same with Natalie
Portman. A lot of potential.
Do you think the Arrowverse should be restart? No. I don't care. I fucking hate those shows.
I watched like season 3 up until season 3 of Flash. Same with Arrow, but then
dude,
after
I gave
that,
up on it.
Yeah, I
gave
did too.
Up on it. It's so fucking tough. Favorite Lord of the Rings character for both you and Jaren? It's got to be Legolas for me. What about you? Or Gandalf. I love Gandalf.
I'd go with Gandalf, yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys, one more question. I'm going to take one more question. Throw in some more. Come on. One more good one.
Let's get that good one.
Make it a very, very special one. I'm only taking it if I love it and it's unique and different. If it's not, I'm not answering it. Not answering it. Come on, guys. Think about, there's 18 of you guys in here right now. 17 now. Let's get the best possible question out there. Come on, everybody. I've been streaming for 1 hour and 17 minutes. I like all the questions so far, but I want that like really amazing question. Let's like something so unique that I've never answered before. Okay. Okay, now they're all coming in. Okay. Okay, I'll take 2 of these. Long-term YouTube goals. Jaren, you go.
I just want to reach an audience and make people happy. I don't really care about money or anything like that. I just want to put a smile on people's faces. Talk movies.
And that's exactly how it should be. For me, honestly, YouTube, I plan on always doing and just having fun with. But I plan on more of a film career, like getting more stuff on the news, getting more stuff on TV like I've been doing right now. Press junkets is like the main thing that like next year, that's like next 2 years, I would say that was going to be my goal for next year, but now it's a little bit hard with everything going on. So junkets, the next big thing though, is just keep growing the channel. That's really it. Long-term, just keep doing what I'm doing.
That's good.
Okay. Now there's a bunch of questions. If you could edit one Marvel sequence for your personal preference, what would it be? I would edit Civil War. The whole airport fight scene. I'd take out less of the jokes and make it more intense.
That's a good one, yeah. I think sometimes like Marvel balances the comedy well, but sometimes it can be a little too overbearing.
I think Civil War I love Civil War, but the nostalgic of it, like again, a lot of these team up movies, the nostalgic kind of fallen back a little bit for me.
Yeah, same.
So, controversial movie, controversial X-Men opinion. Guys, we already done some of those today.
Yep.
If you could be Jaron, you got another sub, Spongy.
Thank you. Sweet.
Hey, Donnie's in here. Hey, he's another Patreon supporter. Go subscribe to him down below. All right, Jordan Morgan. I better be 80 and see Zach Pope upload a pop-up and whatever device I'm on, if I'm still alive. All right, so I think that's where I'm going to end it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this. You guys are seriously all the best. It really does mean the world. Again, go subscribe to Jaron. Go subscribe to this channel if you're new here. Hit that like button. And tomorrow we'll be doing an Ask Me Anything at around 9 to 9:30 is when I'm going to start in the morning. PST, kind of the same time I started this. Kind of just depends when I wake up and when I'm done doing my homework in the morning. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys have a safe rest of your day. Thank you guys again. Stay home. Wash your hands. Watch some of my videos. Watch some of Jaron's videos if you need some entertainment. Yeah. Jaron, anywhere else you'd like to send them to?
No, just like I said, follow me, Jaron Talks Movies, on Instagram, Twitter, and here on YouTube.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks you. And we do have one more question, actually. Like, which movie critics are your favorite?
You want to go first or me?
You can go first. You'll go first.
I'd say like my top 3 are, I'll go top 4. So it's Zach, Sean, Chris Stuckman, and Film Speak.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. There we go. For me, I got to stick with Chris. I think he's the one that I've always stuck with the most.
Yeah.
I love Jeremy, how entertaining he can be. I really like Flick Pick.
Oh, yeah.
Even though he doesn't do that many videos. The ones, though, that I've always loved are the Schmoes, though.
They're good,
and I love their SEM podcasts. I just miss those fucking reviews, man. I do too, miss the fucking reviews. Kind of going out of YouTube, though, I love Perry Nemiroff. I love her to death. Met her at Comic-Con last year. Super freaking sweet. Really love her opinions on film.
Yeah.
Yeah. William Bibiani, Scott Mance. Are just kind of the other ones that I would like to throw out there as well. And Mary Lou B also says, you guys are awesome. You're awesome as well. Thank you guys again so much for watching this again. We love you all. Had a great time with this. And I hope to catch you guys next week on the Popecast, where I bring on another YouTuber who I still don't know yet. I have a list of people I need to ask, but we'll figure it out. Thank you guys again.
Bye, guys.